everyone, and thank you very much for joining me. Welcome. My name is Lior Samfiru. You see that name in the bottom. Who am I? What am I? Well, I'm the employment lawyer. As the name suggests, I'm the guy that resolves workplace problems, and I log on here every single week to answer your questions. So, first of all, thank you for joining me. And I'm the founding partner, one of the founding partners of Samfiru to Market LLP. We operate across Ontario, BC, and Alberta, and we help people in those provinces to navigate the maze of employment law and workplace rights. So you have an opportunity right now on this session to ask your question, to get answers to whatever your workplace problem is. Maybe it's a big problem, maybe it's not so big, maybe you're not even sure if it's big or not. Well, what a great opportunity to ask the question. Maybe you lost your job and you're sitting there wondering, is this legal? Can they do this to me? What am I owed? Well, great time to ask that question. Maybe you are concerned about losing your job. Maybe your job is changing and your hours, your responsibilities, they're adding more responsibilities, they are taking away. Ask what it means, what you can do about it. There's laws, there's rights. Maybe you're being mistreated in the workplace. Maybe you're not getting paid properly. We can go on, whatever the workplace issue. If it has something to do in the relationship between you and your employer, I'm here to answer that question, to tell you what you need to know, and to let you know how the law can help you. Now, you may also want to connect with me off social media. You may want to have a private chat so I can actually roll up my sleeves and get involved and help you. Well, to do that, very easy. All you have to do is go to employmentlawyer.ca. You see that right there, employmentlawyer.ca. First of all, when you go there, you can read a lot about your workplace rights and better understand your situation. But you can also contact me directly, myself, my team across Canada. Phone numbers are there, email addresses are there. If you prefer to fill out a form, that's there as well. Employmentlawyer.ca is your resource for anything employment law. So do that. But that is for after the session. Right now, at this time, I am live, okay? I am live answering your questions. So don't be bashful. Type in that question, hit enter. I'll see it, I'll read it, I'll answer it, and you'll walk away being armed with the knowledge that you need to have. So please take advantage of that. One of the top employment lawyers is here for one reason and one reason only, to make you feel better and more informed when it comes to your rights. Now, in between your questions, as we wait for your questions, I have a list of things I wanted to go through, and that list involves, well, put it this way. I'm often asked, hey, when should I contact an employment lawyer? When should I contact you? Well, the short answer to that is you should contact me anytime you have a question about your workplace rights. But here's a list of some situations where you have to contact me, where not contacting me is not an option. Okay, you must do that, or you're unfortunately going to lose rights that you have. So I'm going to go through those lists, but again, that's in between your questions. So right now, if you're watching me, you're listening to me, ask your question. I'll see it, I'll answer it, and you'll have that. But on my list of times when you absolutely have to contact me, contact my team, the first thing is if you lost your job. I touched on that earlier, but if you lost your job, you have to contact me. Now, as long as you're not part of a union, of course, but regardless, if you're not part of a union, whether you're working full-time, part-time, whether you're a senior employee or a junior employee, whether you've been working for a month or 50 years, you have to contact me if you lose your job. And the reason for that is whatever the company may have offered you when they let you go is likely a lot less than what you're actually owed in the vast majority of situations. And I do mean vast majority. Whatever the company offers you is significantly less than what you're owed, okay? Significantly less. So in most cases, you may be let go and you're offered 2 months pay. The real number could be 12 months pay. See that all the time. And if you sign that document that's put in front of you when you lost your job, that's it. You walk away from your rights. And every single week, I speak with individuals that just by signing that severance letter, that termination letter, have given up their rights, and when they realize they made a mistake, there's nothing that I can do about it. I can't go back in time and undo that signature, okay? You have significant rights if you lose your job. Not just the right to severance, but there's also benefits and vacation pay and bonuses and commissions, pension, you name it. All of those have to be accounted for, okay? So if you lost your job, even if you're a short service employee, even if you're a part-time worker, doesn't matter what the role is, you have to contact. absolutely do, no exceptions, okay? So that's the first thing on my list of times you absolutely have to contact me. Now, for those joining us right now, welcome. My name is Lior Samfiru. I'm the employment lawyer. I'm here live answering your questions about employment law and workplace rights. So ask questions. I'm going to start answering questions right now. First question of the day comes to us from Patty on Facebook. Patty says, my husband took a new job that was going to start this week. He was contacted by the owner and told not to come in at all. He left a job of 30 years, oh my gosh, for this position. What are his rights? So this is actually a very common scenario. You apply for a job, or you get a job, and you have a start date. So you quit your old job, and all of a sudden the rug gets pulled out from under you, and the new employer says, "Well, I changed our mind, or something happened. We don't want to continue." Well, you can't do that. If you relied, so Patty, if your husband relied on that new job offer to quit his job, well, that new company is liable for that. So they're going to have to pay him the severance that the old company would have had to pay him if they let him go. So if he was with the old company for 30 years, he's potentially owed 24 months pay. So the new company that he never worked for, potentially has to pay him 2 years pay. You heard me right. He never worked a day for that company. But because they made him an offer, because he relied on that offer and quit his job, and now they changed their mind, too bad. They have to pay him for 2 years potentially. So have him contact me right away, Patty. Not next week. We need to deal with this right now. You can contact me and anyone else. Easy, employmentlawyer.ca. Again, employmentlawyer.ca, the place and the way to contact me. So this was Patty's question. Thank you for that. You see how easy it is? Same thing with you. If you have questions, ask now. I'll answer them and you'll walk away. Now, a lot of people always ask questions at the end of the sessions, and I don't get to answer them because the session is over. Don't do that. Don't wait till the end of the session. Ask it right now, whether you have time, and I have time to read it and answer it, okay? So again, my name is Lior Samfiru, the employment lawyer, answering questions live. I'm going to continue answering questions. Next question on YouTube from Carrie. Carrie says, I'm struggling with getting accommodation from my employer for a disability issue I have. My doctor has asked for work from home options, but my employer is not responding. What can I do? So it's actually quite simple. Your employer doesn't have a choice in the matter. They have to accommodate. Now, if it's impossible to accommodate, if there's no possibility that you can ever be allowed to work from home, yeah, maybe. But that's extremely rare. So if your employer is not responding to you, see how quickly they respond to me. An email from me, a letter from me, they'll respond to you within the hour. They'll accommodate, they'll do everything needed to be done. I'll give them the kick in the pants. So if your employer is not really happy to meet its legal obligations, let me send them a letter, see how fast they say, sure, no problem, you can work from home. So there's a duty to accommodate, and it's under a human rights law. So Carrie, contact me off air. Let me send them that note, and you can be working from home probably by the end of the day tomorrow. So Carrie, to connect with me, easy. You see the address right over here. employmentlawyer.ca, phone number, email address, it's all there. So let's have a chat. It's illegal for them to refuse to accommodate you. It's illegal, but usually as soon as they hear from me, it's done. All right, great question. Love that question. Next question, continuing again. Ask yours, guys. Ask your questions. Don't be bashful. Next question from CJ Wolf on YouTube. Are there any rulings you know of from recent court decision with unions and other similar disputes that set a precedent that it's illegal or wrong to fire someone for not being vaccinated? There are no court rulings. There's arbitration decisions that go both ways. Some arbitrators have found that it is legal. Some found that it's not legal. But that's only for unionized employees. There are no court decisions yet, and I don't know that there ever will be. And the reason why there may never be court decisions is these matters are settling. They're resolving every single day. Okay, we settled countless matters. We've had hundreds of people that retained us to deal with their job loss because of vaccination, and we're settling. We're getting them the compensation that they're legally owed, so they're not required to go to court. Remember, going to court, you only go there if you can't resolve your matter. We're resolving them, so we don't need to go to court. And I don't know that there will necessarily be court decisions. They might be. There aren't any right now. There may never actually be potentially because these matters are settling. Okay. But again, if you're part of a union, I want to be very clear. Anything that I say on these sessions, anything, does not apply to you. Okay? This is a session about employment law. Employment law is non-union. Union rights is labor law. Labor law, only the union can help you. If you're a unionized employee, whatever we talk about here doesn't apply to you. If you have a workplace problem, you have to talk to your union. And there's no other recourse. But anyone else that's not part of a union, this session is for you. We educate you, we inform you. So just like these questions that we've come so far from Patty, from Carrie, from CJ, ask your question as well. See how easy it is. Now, as I said, in between those questions, I was listing times that you have to contact me if you find yourself in that situation. So the first one that I already mentioned is if you lost your job. The second one that I'll mention is if you're put on a temporary layoff. You have to contact me, and here's why. Your employer does not have a right to put you on a temporary layoff. They don't. So if they do, you can treat that as a termination. If you don't do that, if you simply wait at home and hope to get called back, and you end up going back to work, you've given them the right to do it again and again and again and again. So you may go back for a few weeks, then get laid off for a few months, go back for a few weeks, get laid off again, back and forth. Why? Because you let it happen that first time. So it may be better to treat employment as being terminated, get full severance, which could be as much as 24 months pay, and move on to a different location, different job. Okay? So if you're laid off temporarily, whether you're already on a layoff or it's going to happen in the future, you have to contact me right away so we can discuss your options. Okay? Always. Very, very important. Otherwise, you're giving up.
Strong force, pull-ups,
all right.
Constitution,
thank
weak
you for
force,
that. Those joining
mass,
us once
learning
more.
curve,
I am Lior Sam
Fells and Equality, field
lawyer.
theory.
You can read more about me, contact me through employmentlawyer.ca. But right now, I'm answering your questions live. Right now, ask your question. And next question today comes
Does
from
an
Rob
exoponent solve a
on
logarithm?
Facebook.
Or the logarithm solve an exoponent?
My company has been taken over, and I've been told I have to work 2.5 hours more a week, less benefits, less holidays than I have now, and may have to commute to work after being told I would be permanently working from home. I've been working for 36 years. Wow. Do I have to accept this? Well, no, you don't. What you're describing, I'm only going by what you're telling me, is such a different. The terms you're offered by the new company are so different that you don't have to accept it. That means if you don't accept it, the company that's selling the business has to pay you severance. And after 36 years, my friend, that's going to be 2 years' pay, right? 24 months' pay. That's what they're going to owe you. But the devil's in the details. What I mean by that is before you say yes or no, before you do anything, we need to talk off air. There's a lot at stake for you, a lot of money. You've been there for 36 years. We have to do this properly. You can't just say, well, Lior said that on Facebook. Let's have a chat privately, okay? I want to understand exactly what your job is right now, your compensation, where you work. I want to understand exactly how the changes are going to impact you, both in terms of hours, compensation, commuting, and based on that, yes, we can decide if you don't want to go, you don't have to, and you can get severance. So, Rob, do the right thing. You asked the question, extremely important. You connect with me, though, now as soon as possible off social media through employmentlawyer.ca. You see that address below me. It's employmentlawyer.ca. Phone numbers there, email address there, so we can have a private chat. Rob, hopefully that makes a lot of sense. Thank you for that. All right, continuing to answer questions. That's what I love to do. So ask away. You still have plenty of time. From Cynthia, next question. My employer has advised that they are validating my STD claim, but I have medical notes from my doctor supporting this. My coverage states as automatic and paid in full by the company. Would there be any reason that I wouldn't be eligible for STD? I'm not sure what you mean by validating my STD claim. Validating is a good thing. I don't know, maybe you mean invalidating. Cynthia, you may want to re-ask that question because I'm not sure I understand exactly what you're asking. Okay. So Carrie was asking about the fact that her employer won't let her work from home as per doctor's orders, and she says, there is no physical aspect to my position. I do administrative work and could work remotely. That they absolutely have to accommodate you. It's not a choice that they can make. They have the legal obligation, Carrie. So if your employer won't respond to you, as I said, they'll respond to me quickly. So connect with me off air. Let's do this properly. Again, employmentlawyer.ca. CJ Wolf, I was fired for not being vaccinated. could work from home, did for over 2 years, and they said I couldn't anymore, and they fired me for insubordination. Well, you're owed compensation, you're owed severance. They have to pay you. It's not insubordination that deprives you of severance. So again, depending on how long you've worked there, CJ, and your age, you could be owed many, many months' pay, up to 2 years' pay. So what you need to do now is connect with me off air. I want to find out more about your job, your role, what you've been doing the last 2 years, and then let's get going to get you compensation. Don't give them the money that's legally yours. It's not a complicated process. We're resolving these cases every single day. Okay, so CJ, let's talk about this. Connect with me through employmentlawyer.ca and we'll get working on it, okay? Employmentlawyer.ca, CJ. Thank you very much for the question. Happy to help you. Okay, well, CJ says he's already working with one of my lawyers, Samara. Okay, well, then you're in good hands. In fact, you're in fantastic hands. Next question comes to us from Facebook. This is Paul. Who has a picture of one of the Nasty Boys. Love the Nasty Boys. Paul says, am I able to sue for the pension loss I will incur for the period of severance? I may be entitled for up to 24 months. Absolutely. The thing is, we may not need to sue at all. In most cases, we negotiate that. Okay, it's not even, sometimes a lawsuit isn't even required. But are you owed your pension over the 2 years pay, over the 2 year period? Absolutely. Pension, in fact, could be huge. It could be worth more than the actual salary that you get because depending on how long you've been in the pension plan, an extra 2 years may give you another milestone. So, yes, we need to talk about it. If you lost your job, Paul, we need to discuss this. Okay, you're not going to be able to resolve this on your own. I'm sorry to say that. You're not. So what has to happen? Connect with me, my team, employmentlawyer.ca. Again, employmentlawyer.ca, the way to do that. Next comment. It's a comment, not a question, from Bill on Facebook. He says, hey, love watching your live chats. Thank you. I have told all my family and friends about your live chats. Well, thank you very much, Bill. I'm glad you find them useful. So we all have jobs, right? We all spend time working. So we need to know our rights, our workplace rights. That's why this session is so important. We're not talking about, refrigerators and air conditioners. Not that there's anything wrong with that. We're talking about something that impacts all of us, workplace rights. That's why it's important. So thank you very much.